What's going on, everybody? Here to talk to you about how to stop the computer in their running attack as well as passing plays. Then I'm going to switch it up and talk to users and how to defend them. I'm going to go over each user a little bit in detail and tell you what they do and how to defend them. But first things first, we're going to show you how to stop the run. It's pretty simple. I like to go in a base formation, first down. They're always going to run at least 90% of the time. So I just like to base formation and pick any kind of blitz. It will typically work and put them in second and long. So put them in halfback smash, and now I like to bring one of the safeties up to make it 8 in the box and play as the other safety and cut off the angles and force the running back inside where all the trouble is. So we're going to hike the ball and try and stop this run. And the big thing is the key on the running back and where he's going. If he's going straight up the middle, then you can fly in there as the safety and bust it up. If it's a kind of a stretch play or a counter play, you can tell that as well by keying on the halfback. So we're going to do it one more time in the base set. And blitz packages usually create a lot of havoc. And I'm not going to score a touchdown here. It'll take too long. But yeah, blitzing on first down, because the computer doesn't know any better, they're always going to run. It depends on the team you're playing. I know the Colts, they run a lot of passing plays in 3 wide receiver sets. So you just have to know the computer and what they do. But for the most part, you can key on run plays on first down, put them in passing situations. If you really want to gamble, you can always hit the L trigger, hold it, and push the right stick down and guess a run up the middle. This will really create a lot of havoc and put a lot of pressure on them. Watt is just a man among mere children. But yeah, so blitz on first down, put them in passing situations, which is what we're going to talk about now. When you can get up by 14 or 21 on the computer, they're typically going to pass the ball non-stop. So what we do is we sit back in dollar and 2-man under. And I'm going to show you how to get some pressure on the quarterback. So what we want to do is we want to select Watt. We're going to pull him back off the line a little bit to get him a running start. And what we do with Watt, since he's a power guy, we're going to push down on the right stick, and he's going to shuck this right tackle and get to Cam Newton. So he just bowls him over, and sometimes the guard will help and chip you, but you can still get to him. And this is an easy way to get multiple sacks in a game with a guy. And you just bowl him over. And what I like to do is I like to hit X. That way he'll dive towards the quarterback and he'll, lunge an extra 3 or 4 yards to cut down the time it takes to get to him. So that's pretty much it. If your guy is a finesse player, it's going to be right on the right stick and he'll do a little swim move. But I believe that the power move is a lot more effective and it's quicker. So even if you don't use it, you can kind of get off the block. Oh, Cam, you're so big. All right. Yeah, even if you don't use the move, you can just get around this guy pretty easily if you get off the block. And as soon as I say that, I just get destroyed. So pretty much, 1 to 2 times every 4 times I hike the ball, it's going to work. You're going to get a sack, and it's going to create a lot of problems for the offense because the quarterback is either going to throw the ball away, he's going to run around in the pocket until he's sacked, or he's going to throw an interception, depending on how good of a quarterback you're playing against. So that's a good way to, create havoc on the defensive side during passing situations is just be Watt or be the defensive lineman and rush the quarterback. Of course, it doesn't work every time, but 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Yeah, that's how pretty much I get all of my picks and sacks and turnovers. Is get the computer in passing situations and rush with the left end. It's got to be the left end because for some reason the right end doesn't fare too well against the left tackle. Just because I think that overall left tackles are much better blockers than right tackles. So that's how you beat the computer and get a bunch of picks and sacks against them. Now we're going to switch it up and talk about users. And I'm just going to tell you what I like to do just because it's going to be easier and I know what I do and I don't really know the 4-3 very well. So I'm going to stick with the 3-4 and hopefully you can kind of make some adjustments and figure out what you want to do in the 4-3 based on what I tell you because I'm right and I'm really good. But we're going to first talk about Cameron and what he does. So on rushing situations, he really likes to get in this pistol formation and a big, and sometimes he'll put a tight end in the backfield instead of 2 running backs, and run the read option out of that. So I'm just gonna breeze over the read option because it's really easy to stop, and then we're gonna go into running plays and how to stop the run. So in the bottom right hand corner, if you don't know this already, it tells you the offensive formation and what they're going to be doing, and it's a dead giveaway against users on what they plan on doing. Especially Brent, is because he runs in big tight end sets, so 2 tight ends and a running back. And he rarely passes out of it. He only passes out of 3 wide receiver sets, 4 wide receiver sets. And kick is a little bit different. He will run in a 3 wide receiver set in a shotgun formation. So when we see this against Cameron, we kind of know that it's going to be a run. And we can kind of key on that. So what I like to do is I like to bring this safety up because he's going to be manning up on this tight end. And another thing that I like to do is I like to do that guess play against users because users play really conservative. They like to hold on to the ball, they like to run it, and they don't like to give it away, obviously. So I like to guess run up the middle and just blitz everybody, and it typically works against users. So we're going to do it again and play as that read, kind of force the user's hand and put him in second and long. Now if you feel like he's going to pass the ball and you've already picked your play and it's a blitz play, what you can do is you can do user adjustments or player adjustments. And how you do that is you pick the player that you want to change. Typically it's going to be blitzing guys. Hit A on them, and the left stick is going to be zones that you can change to. So deep zone, curl to the flat, flat zone, which typically isn't used, and then the hook zone. So pretty much I always use curl to the flat to stop the stop routes and flags that users run against man. And then let's see, this other guy, where is he? Brooks Reed. I'll put him on a flat zone to help with that flag route or any crossing routes over the middle. And then I'll play as Ed Reed and I'll stop this single guy right here. More than likely he's gonna be on a stop route because I'm in man. So you could use your audibles, but it takes forever, and you could get caught with your pants down and your player's out of position, and it's no good. So I like to do the best I can and adjust each player and kind of make my own plays, really. The only thing we don't have is a QB spy, and if I know it's going to be a pass or feel like it's going to be a pass, I'll put one of the defensive linemen on a QB spy with the right stick. So we're going to shut down any kind of quarterback movement. So yeah, this is how you stop man routes, and of course you have to be decent user and stop any kind of wide receiver routes that are thrown your way. But hopefully this helps you out in defending the pass or adjusting out of a running blitz package that you've selected. So that's Cameron and what he likes to do out of a pistol formation. In passing situations, he does like to get into this gun with 3 wide, and he does have a run play in it. It's the inside zone, which is pretty effective, but it can be stopped with middle linebacker blitzes up the middle. So against user passing, it's kind of similar to what we like to do against the computer. I just like to sit in a dollar. If it's 3rd and 10, just sit in a dollar and do 2-man under. But there are a little bit of variations I like to do. So we've got a linebacker that isn't really needed in the blitz. So I like to put him on a hook zone or curl to the flat to stop any kind of user routes, or stop routes. So we've got him on a flat. If you're desperate to get a stop, you could put your D-tack on a hook zone just to have an extra body in there. He's not really gonna make a huge play on the ball, but he's gonna be effective enough to where they don't want to pass it there. And then I like to put my left end on a spy just because I don't care to get any pressure on the quarterback. I just want to stop the pass. So there's something you can do. There's another thing you can do is if you want to keep these 3 guys blitzing, you can put Merciless on a spy, and you can put your 2 safeties on to cover the flats or to cover the middle of the field. I like to do this just because users don't really like to test me deep. My corners are pretty good, and they can shut down those long streaks. So I like to, cover what I think the user is going to be running, and it's typically going to be stop routes or slant routes over the middle, or that flag route to the tight end. So we've got everything we needed here. We've got a QB spy for running quarterback, and we've got our pass rushers. And as a user on passing situations, I like to play as a safety and jump routes and try and guess what the user is going to be doing. Typically, it's going to be, the usual tight end streak, tight end flat, or flag. So if you play somebody enough times, you're going to figure them out and you're going to know what they do. But that's Cameron for you, and that's pretty much kick for you against man. Now against zone, I really don't know what they do because I don't run it. But I usually don't run zone because it's easily beaten, and the computer doesn't have a designated player that they guard. So they're just kind of out in no man's land hoping to make a play, which they won't because there's just so many holes in a zone and it's easily beaten, I think. So yeah, that's how I beat users. Hopefully I gave you enough information on each user. They all pretty much run the same routes. It's not difficult to figure out what routes they are. I'm pretty sure you know them. It's just about deciding when they're going to pass and when they're going to run, and guessing plays and jumping routes. That's pretty much how you beat users. You just kind of have to gamble a little bit And more often than not, you're gonna guess right because everybody likes to play conservative, and everybody likes to control the ball and run it because running the ball, yeah, it's safe, but it's also really effective in Madden. So if you can stop that and put him in passing situations, you'll be okay. That's all I got for you. I do have one more nugget about the read option. Put them in a read option real quick. It doesn't matter what defense we run. So how to stop the read option? It's really easy. You just hold the L trigger and hit A, and your left defensive end or right defensive end, whatever the quarterback is reading, will break down and force the quarterback to hand the ball off. So we're going to hike the ball. J.J. Watt breaks down. He doesn't hand the ball off, and Watt gets him for a loss. So, yeah, L trigger and A. Every time you come to the line, it should be ingrained in your system to help you stop Cameron and help you stop kick. Once you do that, they know not to run it ever again, and you'll be okay. But they will run a variation of a run out of this play, which is it's kind of like the inside zone. It's really effective if you don't bring a blitz. So yeah, L trigger and A every time. You can even overlap with the L trigger and run up the middle. It'll still work. And yeah, that's one thing I highly recommend against Cameron and against kick, because you never know when they're going to throw that little gem in there. That's all I got. Hopefully it helped you out against the computer and against users. If you have any questions, let me know. Let the other guys know, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. All right, man. Hope this helped. Peace.